The sun blazed outside First National Bank, where Marcus Steele, a sharply dressed black CEO, stepped through the glass doors. His tailored suit screamed success, his briefcase held million-dollar deals, and his presence commanded respect. Marcus had an appointment with the bank manager, Karen Whitmore, to finalize a critical loan for his tech startup. The meeting was set for 10 a.m. sharp. He arrived 5 minutes early, confident and prepared. The receptionist smiled politely, directing him to a plush waiting area. "Ms. Whitmore will be with you shortly," she said. Marcus nodded, checking his watch. Time was money, and he was ready to close this deal. Minutes ticked by. 10 became 30. 30 became an hour. Marcus's calm demeanor wavered as he glanced at his phone. No updates, no apologies. The waiting room felt smaller now, the leather chair less comfortable. Other clients, mostly white, breezed in and out, their meetings swift. Marcus noticed. His jaw tightened, but he stayed composed, scrolling through emails to distract himself. The receptionist avoided eye contact, her earlier warmth gone. Was this a mix-up or something else? By the second hour, Marcus's patience frayed. He approached the desk, voice steady but firm. "Excuse me, I've been waiting 2 hours. Is Ms. Whitmore available?" The receptionist stammered, "She's busy. Please wait." Marcus's eyes narrowed. He wasn't just any client, he was a CEO with a multi-million-dollar portfolio. Something wasn't right. Little did he know, what was about to unfold would shake the entire bank to its core. Marcus Steele sat back down, his mind racing. 2 hours wasted, and still no sign of Karen Whitmore. The waiting area, once quiet, now buzzed with subtle glances from staff. Marcus felt their eyes, their whispers, like needles pricking his composure. He wasn't new to this, being the only black man in a room often came with unspoken judgments. But today, as a CEO with a deal that could reshape his company's future, the weight felt personal. His phone vibrated with urgent messages from his team, waiting for loan approval. Every minute stung. He scanned the room. A white client, arriving just 20 minutes ago, was ushered into Whitmore's office. Marcus's grip tightened on his briefcase. Was this deliberate? He stood, adjusting his tie, and approached the receptionist again. "I need to speak with Ms. Whitmore now," he said, his tone calm but edged with authority. The receptionist flinched, mumbling about schedules. "She's in a meeting," she said, avoiding his gaze. Marcus's eyes locked on hers. "I had an appointment at 10 a.m. It's noon." The receptionist fumbled, promising to check. Minutes later, a junior staffer emerged, nervously explaining that Whitmore was tied up but would see him soon. Marcus's patience snapped. "I'm not here for a casual chat. I'm a CEO with a $10 million deal on the table." The room went silent. Heads turned. The staffer scurried off, and Marcus felt the weight of every stare. Unbeknownst to him, a security guard was already being called. What happened next would turn the bank upside down, exposing secrets no one expected. Marcus Steele stood tall, his presence filling the waiting area. The air thickened as the receptionist's nervous glances darted toward the back offices. Marcus's words, calm, but laced with authority, had silenced the room. Clients in the waiting area shifted uncomfortably, sensing the brewing storm. He wasn't just a CEO, he was a man tired of being dismissed. 2 hours of waiting for a scheduled meeting was no accident. His instincts screamed discrimination, but he needed proof. His eyes scanned the room, catching the security guard edging closer, hand on his radio. "Sir, please take a seat," the guard said, his tone clipped. Marcus didn't budge. "I've been seated for 2 hours, he replied, voice steady. "I'm here to see Karen Whitmore about a $10 million loan. Why am I still waiting?" The guard hesitated, unprepared for Marcus's commanding presence. Whispers spread among the staff. A senior teller slipped into Whitmore's office, the door closing quickly behind her. Marcus caught the movement, his suspicions growing. Something was off. Moments later, Karen Whitmore finally appeared. Her smile was tight, her demeanor cold. "Mr. Steele, I'm terribly sorry for the delay," she said, her tone dripping with false courtesy. "We've been swamped."
Marcus raised an eyebrow. Swamped? I watched clients who arrived after me walk into your office.
Karen's smile faltered, but she gestured toward her office.
Let's discuss this privately.
Marcus followed, his gut telling him this wasn't about a busy schedule. As he stepped into her office, he had no idea that a single document on her desk would soon unravel a scandal that would shock the entire bank. Marcus Steele entered Karen Whitmore's office, his sharp eyes scanning the room. Polished wood, framed awards, and a cluttered desk greeted him, but the air felt heavy with unspoken tension. Karen sat, her smile forced, gesturing to a chair. Marcus sat, his briefcase on his lap, his posture unyielding.
Let's make this quick, he said, his voice firm. I've waited long enough.
Karen nodded, shuffling papers, her hands betraying a slight tremble. She launched into a rehearsed spiel about loan protocols, but Marcus wasn't here for excuses. Your delay cost me 2 hours, he cut in. I saw clients bypass me.
Explain that.
Karen's eyes flickered, caught off guard.
It's just scheduling, Mr. Steele. Nothing personal. But Marcus wasn't buying it.
His years climbing corporate ladders taught him to spot bias dressed as bureaucracy.
He leaned forward.
My company's worth $50 million.
My credit's flawless. Why the runaround?
Karen's face tightened, her fingers brushing a file on her desk. That file caught Marcus's eye. His name was on it, but it was stamped high risk. His blood ran cold.
What's that? He asked, pointing. Karen's hand froze. Just standard paperwork, she stammered, sliding it under other documents. Marcus's instincts flared. This wasn't a mistake, it was deliberate. He stood, towering over the desk. Show me that file. Now.
Karen hesitated, her facade cracking. The room felt smaller, the stakes higher. Neither knew that a junior employee, eavesdropping outside, had just recorded their exchange. That recording would soon spark a firestorm, exposing truths that would rattle the bank's foundations and leave everyone stunned. Marcus Steele's demand hung in the air like a thunderclap. Karen Whitmore's face paled as she clutched the file stamped high risk. Her hesitation fueled Marcus's suspicion. I'm not asking again, he said, his voice low but piercing.
Show me.
Karen's eyes darted to the door, as if hoping for rescue, but none came.
Reluctantly, she slid the file across the desk. Marcus opened it, his heart pounding.
Inside were his company's financials. Impeccable records, glowing credit reports, and a glowing Forbes profile. Yet, a handwritten note scrawled, "Deny loan, unfavorable profile."
Unfavorable?
Marcus's voice rose, sharp enough to cut glass. My company's valued at $50 million.
Explain this. Karen stammered, it's a risk assessment error.
But Marcus saw through her. The note wasn't an error, it was a judgment. His race, his presence, something about him had triggered this. He leaned in, eyes locked on hers.
Who wrote this? You?
Karen's silence was deafening. Outside, the junior employee, Sarah, gripped her phone, the recording still running.
She'd overheard enough to know this wasn't just a scheduling snafu.
The file's label, Karen's evasiveness, it pointed to something darker. Sarah's hands shook, she knew exposing this could cost her job, but staying silent wasn't an option.
Marcus, unaware of her actions, pressed Karen further. This is discrimination.
I want your supervisor, now. Karen's composure crumbled. There's no need for that, she said, voice shaky. But Marcus was done waiting. As he reached for his phone to call his lawyer, a text from an unknown number buzzed, "Check your email.
You'll want to see this."
What came next would turn the bank upside down. Marcus Steele's phone buzzed in his hand, the cryptic text, "Check your email.
You'll want to see this," igniting his curiosity.
He glanced at Karen Whitmore, who sat frozen, her eyes darting nervously. Marcus opened his email, ignoring her attempts to regain control of the conversation.
A new message from an anonymous sender loaded, an audio file and a brief note. Listen. This is bigger than you think.
His pulse quickened as he plugged in his earbuds and hit play. The recording was crystal clear, Karen's voice, discussing his loan with another manager. "He's a risk," Karen said in the audio.
"Doesn't fit our client profile."
The other voice chuckled.
"You mean his type doesn't fit?"
Marcus's jaw clenched. The file in front of him, stamped high risk, now made sense.
This wasn't just bias, it was systemic.
He looked up at Karen, whose face drained of color. "Care to explain this?" he asked, holding up his phone.
She stammered, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Marcus stood, his 6 feet 2 inches frame towering. "You labeled me a risk because of who I am, not my portfolio." Karen's mouth opened, but no words came. Outside, Sarah, the junior employee, watched through the glass, her heart racing.
She'd sent the email, risking everything. She'd overheard Karen's conversation days ago and found the courage to act.
Marcus forwarded the email to his lawyer, his fingers steady despite his rage.
"This isn't over," he told Karen.
As he stepped out, Sarah slipped him a note. "Meet me in the lobby.
I have more."
The bank was about to face a reckoning no one saw coming. Marcus Steele strode into the lobby, his mind reeling from the email's audio.
The note from Sarah burned in his pocket. "Meet me in the lobby. I have more."
He scanned the bustling bank, spotting a young woman near the coffee stand, her eyes nervous but resolute. Sarah approached, her voice low.
"Mr. Steele, I'm the one who sent the email. I couldn't stay silent."
Marcus nodded, his anger tempered by her courage. "What else do you know?" he asked, guiding her to a quiet corner. Sarah glanced around, ensuring no one overheard.
"Karen's been flagging certain clients for months, mostly minorities. It's not just you. There's a pattern."
She pulled out her phone, showing a folder of screenshots, internal memos, client files marked high risk despite stellar credentials, and emails hinting at a directive from higher-ups.
Marcus's eyes narrowed.
This wasn't one rogue manager, it was a systemic scheme. "Why risk your job?" he asked.
Sarah's voice trembled. "My brother faced the same thing. I can't let it slide."
Marcus's resolve hardened. "I need copies of everything," he said.
Sarah hesitated, then nodded, sending him the files.
"There's a board meeting tomorrow," she whispered. "They'll cover this up unless you act fast." Marcus thanked her, his mind racing. He had proof now, but exposing it meant taking on the bank's leadership. As Sarah slipped away, a security guard eyed Marcus suspiciously, radio crackling. Karen's voice echoed from the office, now on a call with someone powerful. Marcus knew time was short. What he did next would not only shock the bank but could redefine justice for every client wronged by its hidden agenda. Marcus Steele stood in the lobby, Sarah's files now safely in his cloud drive. The weight of her evidence, memos, emails, and flagged client profiles, confirmed a chilling truth. First National Bank was systematically targeting minority clients, burying their applications under baseless risk labels. Marcus's anger surged, but he channeled it into focus. He had a board meeting to crash tomorrow, and he needed a plan. His lawyer, Angela Reed, was already on speed dial. "Send me everything," she texted back. "This is explosive." Back at his office, Marcus reviewed the files with Angela via video call.
"This isn't just Karen," Angela said, her voice sharp. "The directives came from the regional director, Paul Grayson." Marcus's eyes darkened.
Grayson was a banking titan, untouchable, or so he thought. Angela outlined their strategy: confront the board with the evidence, demand an investigation, and go public if needed. "We'll need media leverage," she added. Marcus nodded, already contacting a trusted journalist friend, Lisa Chen, known for exposing corporate corruption. As night fell, Marcus prepared a presentation, weaving Sarah's evidence into a damning narrative. He included his own file, the audio, and client testimonies he'd gathered from Sarah's data.
But he knew the bank wouldn't fold easily.
Grayson's influence ran deep, and Karen was likely already covering her tracks.
A late-night email from Sarah warned, "They're shredding documents tonight. Act fast." Marcus's heart raced.
He called Lisa, who agreed to meet him at dawn with a news crew. The board meeting was hours away, and Marcus was ready to expose a scandal that would shake the bank's foundation, leaving its executives scrambling to save face. Marcus Steele arrived at First National Bank at 8 a.m., his briefcase packed with evidence. The board meeting was set for 9, and he was ready to confront the bank's elite. Lisa Chen and her news crew waited nearby, cameras discreetly positioned. Marcus's lawyer, Angela, stood by his side, her tablet loaded with Sarah's files, the audio, and a list of wronged clients.
"We've got one shot," she whispered.
Marcus nodded, his resolve steel. The lobby buzzed with tension as staff whispered, sensing something big. At 8:55, Marcus entered the boardroom uninvited. The board, led by Paul Grayson, froze, their faces a mix of surprise and disdain. Karen Whitmore sat to Grayson's right, her eyes widening. "Mr. Steele, this is a private meeting," Grayson barked. Marcus ignored him, placing his briefcase on the table. "You'll want to hear this," he said, voice commanding.
He projected Sarah's files onto the screen, memos, emails, and client profiles marked high risk for no reason other than race. Gasps echoed. Grayson's face reddened.
"This is preposterous," he shouted. Marcus played the audio of Karen's damning conversation. The room fell silent, her words exposing the bank's bias. "You targeted me and others like me," Marcus said, staring at Grayson.
"This ends now."
Karen stammered, but Grayson cut her off, deflecting blame.
Angela stepped in, presenting a demand for a federal investigation.
Outside, Lisa's crew began live streaming. The story breaking online. As security was called, Marcus dropped his final bomb. The media's outside.
The world's watching. Grayson's composure cracked. The boardroom doors burst open, revealing a truth that would unravel the bank's reputation in ways no one could have predicted. Marcus Steele stood firm as security hesitated, the boardroom electric with tension.
Paul Grayson's face twisted in fury, but the live stream outside, led by Lisa Chen, had already gone viral. Hashtags like #BankBiasScandal trended on X, with thousands sharing Marcus's story. The board members shifted nervously, their phones buzzing with alerts. Karen Whitmore's head hung low, her career in tatters. Marcus's evidence, Sarah's files, the audio, and client testimonies had exposed a systemic scheme that reached the bank's highest ranks. Angela Reed seized the moment, addressing the board. "We're filing for a federal investigation.
Resignations and transparency are your only way out."
Grayson scoffed, but a board member, sensing the PR disaster, whispered urgently to him. Marcus spoke, his voice resolute.
"This isn't just about me. It's about every client you've wronged."
He listed names from Sarah's files: entrepreneurs, families, dreamers, all denied fair treatment. The room felt the weight of their stories. Outside, the news crew captured employees gathering, some cheering Marcus's courage. Sarah, now revealed as the whistleblower, joined Lisa, sharing her role. The board, cornered, agreed to an internal audit and Grayson's suspension.
Marcus's phone lit up with messages of support from clients and activists. By noon, the bank issued a public apology, promising reforms.
Marcus's loan was approved that day, but his fight wasn't over. He launched a foundation to help minority entrepreneurs, funded by his company's success. The bank's reputation took years to recover, but Marcus's stand reshaped its future. Sarah was promoted, and Grayson faced charges. Marcus walked out, head high, knowing his 2-hour wait had sparked a movement that shocked the world and changed banking forever.